think about four realms of the human individual existence: the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. And think about those realms as places where we can focus on healing. And you might argue, well, David, the spiritual it's never not healed. The spiritual place is always healed. It's just us accessing the awareness that the spiritual in us is fully realized. Um, but if you think of those areas as conversations, think about it. The spiritual realm, we talk, we have a dialogue. We talk to the God of our understanding through prayer, through meditation, through music, through spiritual practices. We talk to the God of our understanding. Um, and that God of our understanding talks to us through healing, through miracles, through grace, through manifestation, through myriad things. And we know that dialogue. So prayer is conversation. Meditation is conversation. It can be. Uh, then think about the mental realm. Our thoughts are firing off, they say 60-ish thousand times daily, the chatter in our head, and we can talk back to our thoughts. We can rethink our thoughts. We can say, oh yeah, no, I questioned that thought. And so there's this mental realm. The emotional realm is beneath the surface. It's a subconscious conversation that happens that listens to thoughts. It listens to thoughts, and sometimes these things become buried so deep that emotions will just cause you to be triggered, trauma, and there's that layer that's deeper. There's a dialogue happening there as well, and it's much more subtle, and sometimes doesn't speak in words, it speaks in feelings. Then there's the physical realm, and I'm going to talk about this conversation, about having a conversation with our body and how the body talks to us. So I was talking with Verona Garland a few days ago, and she was talking about she was going to be studying the Akashic records. And for those of you who know what the Akashic records are or don't, there's a few definitions, but I'll read this one. The Akashic records are a metaphysical, energetic database or universal library believed to store every thought, word, and action that has ever been, that will ever be. It's this place where everything that you've thought and that everyone has thought, done, they're all stored in this big record. And this record can be viewed as a repository for spiritual guidance, for healing, for understanding life. And I'm thinking, isn't the body also, if you believe, there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. I think someone else said the body keeps count. The body keeps the score. The body is recording. If you're watching TV all day and you're not even paying attention, I believe the brain is recording every single thing going on, whether you're processing it consciously or not. But everything that has happened to you, the body has a way of recording. And the body sometimes stores trauma. I've talked about Gabor Mate before, being the most well-known psychologist in the field of trauma. Definitely worth Googling him or looking him up on Facebook, YouTube. He's amazing. But he and Eckhart Tolle actually is along the same vein of understanding that things that happen to you that cause trauma that is unprocessed stores itself in the body. Bruce Lipton, who actually was a guest of ours in 2022, I think, he showed us that our beliefs influence our biology. Okay, so if something is out of alignment, the body knows, the body reacts with tension or pain. If something is unresolved, the body holds on to it. One of the real exciting authors that happened a number of years ago, I'm going to say probably in the realm of Wayne Dyer, I'm thinking maybe 30 years ago, right around that time, someone who David Alt and Karen Drucker traveled with, is Louise Hay. And I didn't know I had this book until last night. I didn't know I had been looking for this book. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. And I'd always heard people talk and even quote from a few aspects of this book, which basically say that, your body has intelligence. And in the very back of the book, there's this whole area that lists different parts of the body and what pain in those areas mean. And so I decided, I was pretty much done writing this talk, and I decided to grab this book last night and look up hip problems. So here it is. Hip problems, fear of going forward in a major decision. What's the affirmation to heal the hip problem? I am in perfect balance and I move forward in life with ease and with joy at every stage. I love that. So, I've been dealing with some big decisions, and I can see that. Now, simultaneous to this, over the last 4 days, I threw my back out about 4 days ago. Just so happened, I was thinking, I don't know, but did that have anything to do with when I found out how much I owe in taxes? It was a big, I see the people laughing. It was a big shock, big, unexpected shock. And I have my old tax person retired, and I have a new tax person. I'm thinking, is it that tax person or is it my situation? What is going on? And also, I threw my back out, which resolved completely yesterday. I'm so grateful for that, because I thought, am I going to be able to do this? So my prayer was, let me be able to give this talk. So I looked on page 152 of this book, and it has a section for back problems. And it says, okay, lower back problems, middle back problems, upper back problems. And I have a lower back problem. And it says here, the problem is related to fear of money, lack of financial support. Boom. There it goes, right? With my tax bill, right? And the affirmation, the healing affirmation is, I trust the process of life. I trust abundance. All I need is always taken care of. I am safe. I love that. And, I highly recommend this book. And, this book has really withstood the test of time. And it isn't cast in stone what the interpretation of a particular pain is. It's up to you to think about that, how that works for you, because you are your own mystic, you are your own healer. Your body, everybody's bodies have different frequencies and different ways of relating amongst themselves. So, this spoke truth to me. But if you have a lower back problem, it may mean something unique to you. So you may consider, what is the language? What is the translation for any tension or pain that you might have? Highly recommend it, that Louise Hay book. So the body has an intelligence, and because it has an intelligence, it does have a voice. And unlike other voices, like your mind, this voice of the body, it doesn't argue, it doesn't justify, it doesn't pretend, it doesn't get misled by social media. It simply speaks. It just speaks, because it has. I'm not sure if it has an intention, but if it has an intention, it's to heal and protect you. And the body knows how to heal. The body knows how to heal. Sometimes it needs help from the medicinal world, but it works in concert. Medicine is just energy too. Every scar that you have, think about the process. Every injury that you have, think about the process. Think about speaking of protection and that role of the body in protection and healing, think about the immune system. I watched a documentary on Netflix called Heal, and Jen and I watched this together, and the fact got shared that most systems of the body are pretty straightforward. They have a home, such as the circulatory system has a home in the heart, and and then it goes to the veins and the arteries and the capillaries. And the nervous system has a home in the brain and the cerebral cortex and the spine and the nerves. Digestive system and the endocrine system has a home in the glands, right? So, but if you think about the immune system, it is highly distributed. It has no home. It has many hubs where it reacts. It's in the bloodstream, it's in the cells, it's in the brain, it's totally in the digestive system, 50% of it, they say, in terms of the chemicals, the neurotransmitters. It's all over. So it's an energetic system that has so many defenses, so many ways that we're just tapping the iceberg in terms of understanding those, and that allows us to heal diseases, immunotherapy, being able to tweak and tune and talk to this immune system in new ways. It's just amazing. So healing doesn't always happen from the outside. If we think about healing happening from within, that's maybe more of an accurate picture. So back to the body. The body then can be viewed as something that's not the enemy. The body can be viewed as your biggest ally, your best friend, this sacred body temple. So instead of thinking, oh, if something happens, why is this happening to me? Bad body, trying to be angry at the body part. I've talked about, let's not be angry at that body part. Let's send healing, merciful thoughts, compassionate thoughts, loving thoughts into that body part. Any pain, any tension, any fatigue, any tightness, any illness, these are not the body betraying us. They're messages from the body to help us. So, where this talk is heading is, how do we align with the body's guidance? Two ways. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but this is helpful as a mental model, is listening to the body and talking to the body, listening to the body and talking to the body, and listening in a multi-dimensional way. And let's just try this out for size. Let's just go within for a moment and think about any place of tension, any place where you may be having discomfort or pain. Let's first of all breathe into that space as if our breath is happening from that space. Let's ask, what color is that tension? What size is that tension? But let's ask this tension, what are you trying to show me? What do you need from me right now? What do I need to hear from you? And just note if there's any message such as slow down, let go, exercise more, rest, breathe. What is the message from that body part or that condition? And maybe let's notice again, what color is that body part or condition? What size, what shape is it? But now think of it with compassion, and think of it trying to understand. And just think to yourself about that. When the body feels safe, it begins to release what it's holding. And as you breathe into that space, think about this. When the body is heard, it no longer has to shout. The body's been shouting at you to be heard, perhaps. And when the body feels heard, it no longer has to shout. Okay, so let's come back to the room for a moment. There's someone else that I'm going to transition now from listening to the body. That's one way to listen to the body that we just did. But now learning to talk to the body or with the body. And there is someone that maybe hasn't been at the top of the New York Times bestseller list, but someone who keeps coming up. And her name is Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon. And she's kind of a mystic around the time of Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay. And I'm not even sure if she's living anymore, but there's a lot of recordings of her that are pretty amazing. She has such intuitive wisdom. And she said this about talking to the body. She said, the body loves for you to talk with it. You see, within you, you have an entire universe, all the cells, all the organs, everything. And if you begin to tell the body how much you love it, I love you, heart, I love you, spine, I love you, back, whatever part it is, if you begin to do that, she says, it loves that because somebody's paying attention to it. And when you speak to your own body, you are the voice of God to that universe within you. Who else is going to do it? You are the voice of God to that universe within you, and the body will listen to you because the body will listen to you more than it will listen to anyone else, right? You're the owner. So I love that. That's Dolores Cannon. And this is along the same lines of Myrtle Fillmore, who, through creating her own healing, and she did this by talking to her body, she received mystic guidance that worked for her. And she wrote it down, and many of you have read it, how she talked to her body, and she healed herself of a condition that today is cured by vaccines, not to get political, but it's tuberculosis. And in her day, there was no vaccine and there was no cure, but she cured herself of that condition and others by talking to herself consistently in this loving way, talking to her organs in much the way that Dolores Cannon described. And I'm wondering if Dolores Cannon ever heard of Myrtle Fillmore, because Myrtle Fillmore came first. And people flocked to Myrtle Fillmore from all over the country by the thousands. And it began as a letter writing campaign, but it became an in-person thing, and it became unity. It became unity. And Charles Fillmore found his own way. And but this, I highly recommend finding a way to talk to your body. This is that body dialogue. Let's close with this. Let's just go. Let's try this. Let's go within one more time. We are going to focus on either the same body part that you want to heal, or some condition. And we all have, none of us are perfect physically. That's just part of what makes us, and we are whole despite that. So let's just visualize energy, as we mentioned during the meditation, this luminescent, perhaps effervescent energy of light and of love flowing to this area. If you're alone in a room, you can, which I think most of you are you can say I love you to that body part. Or you can just visualize yourself giving that body part or that condition compassion and mercy instead of hate. Just sending even gratitude for the lessons And let's expand that for a moment by thinking about expanding this feeling of gratitude to your eyes for everything they've seen. Gratitude and blessings to your ears for everything that they've heard. Gratitude to your brain for every thought, every memory that it holds, every creation. Gratitude to your heart for bringing the rhythm of life every second. And gratitude to your feet and your legs and your body temple for bringing you to everywhere that you've been on this magnificent journey. And knowing to thank the body is to heal the body, and to heal the body is a form of thanking the body. So I am complete, and I'm going to spotlight Amy to close this message in song.
I had to see about Dolores Cannon and Myrtle Fillmore, and can you believe this? Myrtle Fillmore died in 1931, the same year that Dolores Cannon was born.
Wow.
They're the same soul or something.
Passing the torch.
Is that wild?
Yeah, thanks for looking that up.
I'm really excited about this little song. This is called Hip Pain Physical Therapist. Tears come when we feel seen. The release, the relief from physical therapy. Moving into change. Stretch and stretch and stretch in a new way. Spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. Realms where relationships is conversational. Moving into change. Stretch and stretch and stretch in a new way. Moving into change. Stretch and stretch and stretch in a new way. Listen to the body keeps score. Finding alignment is what it is for. Your body knows you and my body knows me. Allow a healing frequency. Healing frequency. We can heal from the inside out. Your body's not the enemy, it's your temple. Be devout. Healing into change. Let go of all the pain. Healing into change. Let go of all the pain. Listen to the body keeps score. Finding alignment is what it is for. Your Your body knows you and my body knows me. Allow, allow, allow a healing frequency. Listen to your body, talk to your body. Listen to your body, talk to your body. Listen to your body, talk to your body.